Academy for Social Change presents Anchoring. Imagine you go to the store to buy a new pair of shoes. You find some shoes you absolutely love, but notice a hefty price tag. Although you think they're great shoes that will make you look very cool, you decide $175 is too much to pay for a pair of shoes. When the salesperson sees you holding the shoe, she makes her way over and informs you that the shoes are actually on sale for $75. You decide to buy the shoes since $100 off the original price seems like a great deal. The reason why you decided to get the shoes after you learned of the sales price is because you're basing all future judgments based on the original anchor price of $175. You're now interpreting all information regarding the value of the shoes based on the initial value you learned of. This means that now, anything over $175 will be too high, while anything below this price will be low. Even if the shoes are overpriced, despite the sale at the store, the cost may seem reasonable or even cheap to you compared to the original price. Anchoring is when an individual relies too heavily on an initial piece of information offered when making decisions. The original description of the anchoring effect came from psychophysics, where it was noticed that when judging stimuli along a continuum, that the first and last stimuli were used to compare the other stimuli. Later, in 1958, Muzaffar Sharif, a social psychologist, applied the concept of anchoring to our attitudes. In school, you will come into contact with individuals with whom you have to negotiate. Sometimes, you'll be presenting the first set of information, and other times they will. During these times of disagreement, it is essential you stop and consider the effect that the original piece of information had on people's inclinations. When starting the negotiation, you can make sure to suggest something that is not as good as what you ultimately want someone to do. For example, you can first suggest eating kale to your friend who likes to eat unhealthy, but then try to have them skip the extra serving of dessert. When being presented with options, you should think of how you would react if it was the first option presented. For example, if your friend suggests staying out until 2 a.m. first and then offers to stay out only until 1 a.m., think about what you would have said if they suggested 12 a.m. first and then 1 a.m. Many times we think that what we're deciding is right because we're considering a lot of information. However, we don't realize that the first piece of information we consumed might make it hard to change our way of judging, even when new information is presented. Don't be a victim of the anchoring effect. Now it's your time to think further. Are there instances in which an initial piece of information caused you to make suboptimal decisions?